more than ever we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together. Ooh, yeah,
Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. I want to welcome you to this segment in the Dynamic Hour. Again, this segment is where we talk, where we discuss, because at the end of the day, we need to express ourselves, but also consider that this is our home. We want to make it better. We want to enhance it. So yes, you could condemn, yes, you could criticize, but we also need for you to put forward recommendations, put forward suggestions, put forward resolutions that would make things better and not just cause chaos or confusion. I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube to please share the live. Sharing is caring. I want to start off in a real way this morning by saying you listen to some of the presentations by the NNP in the parliament and you wonder why would a MP, right, a member of parliament for area, criticize or condemn a program or a project in her constituency? A project in your constituency? I mean, it baffles me a bit. And then she would concoct stories, giving the impression that this is an NNP thing. It was there before. And then you ask, but why didn't you implement it? Why didn't you roll it out? Why didn't you make it a reality? So you're quick to condemn, you're quick to say all kinds of stuff. You know, it's amazing. I listen to this political idiot because I think she's a political idiot.
Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, the budget document has an estimated amount of $25 million for housing. However, half of it is allocated towards the so-called, quote-unquote, Project 500. Half of it.
Right. So, firstly, the 25 million allocated for housing, 10 million is allocated for Project 500. So the budget document says 10 million. So not half. It's definitely not half because it's 25 million. If it was 20 million, half would be 10. So it's 25 million and 10 million was allocated to Project 500. And it's not rocket science. All you need to do is to go back and check it out. It's there for all to see. It's in the budget document, 10 million for that purpose. All right? You know, sometimes these people talk and they believe that people are stupid. That's what they believe. So she's saying half, but that is not the case. In fact, if you look at, maybe I can share this because it's you know, these people believe that they are smart, but they are not. She's just loud. Kate Lewis is just loud. She's not smart. There is a on the government website and all over Facebook. All right, you have this flyer being posted highlighting towards Vision 75. and you would see some of the allocations, right? GDP, what is expected, healthcare, housing, and then you would see housing. So housing, it says project 500, 10 million. Soft loan programs, 15 million, right? So that is what is there under housing. All right. And it's not hard. You could just go into the budget document and you would see. And if you listen to the same Kate Lewis presentation lower down, you would realize 25 million was allocated for housing, and 10 million is going towards project 500. All right. So not half. So that's the first lie by this woman.
That is the intention, to sell for those who can afford, right? Mr. Speaker, Project 500 is government's latest attempt to rename an existing housing program while forcefully reacquiring lands from citizens who already legally purchased it. Is nothing more than a blatant exercise of deception and mismanagement.
Look, the government will not reacquire lands from people who legally acquired it or paid for it, who have it. All right, they would not do that. In other words, she's saying that they're just taking this thing, reacquiring. But if the government wants land or lands, they can promptly pay, so they can acquire and promptly pay for the lands once it is for public purpose. So that's kind of common sense, right? And you know, I feel sorry for Keith Mitchell and Clarice Modeste and Emlyn Pear with their hands, because they are lonely and few on the opposition side. And they keep knocking the table, right, in the parliament, knocking that desk or whatever they have there. And why are they doing that? They're doing that to give the impression that, you know, plenty of people are in support of what this woman is saying. But it's only 3 of them there. Only 3 of them plus Kate. It's 4, right? 3 plus Kate. So Kate is speaking, you have 3 of them sitting. And Keith and them, they're just knocking this thing. And I feel sorry for their hands, their palm. Right? But let's listen in further.
This is not a new initiative. It is simply repackaging an old program.
Look, this woman is a political idiot. Project 500 is a new project. It's new. The only time we heard about Project 500 is under the NDC. When the NDC was campaigning, they spoke about Project 500 and the need for proper housing. And they would embark upon such an initiative to build 500 houses, not in a year, no. And it's, you know, I listen to this political idiot and I wonder, do you believe that Grenada has the resources, one, manpower, meaning skilled labor, and the materials and other things like that, the money, the resources to build 500 houses in 1 year? I mean, do you think this is wooden houses that they're building? They're not building. This is not wooden houses. So when you listen to this political fool, because this woman is speaking about a project in her constituency. She's speaking about a project in her constituency. She should be proud that such a project is in her constituency. But you see, her mindset is poor. She's poor mentally. And as a result, that is the kind of rubbish that comes from her mouth.
And give the illusion of progress while wasting public resources.
But how could you be wasting public resources by starting a project where they would construct 17 houses in the Dunfermline area in her constituency, right? And then they would move to other areas because they've identified about 3 or 4 or 5 areas throughout Grenada that they will build Grenadian type homes, and they would offer it to people. So people will come and they would see the, let's say, 3 from this contractor, 3 from that contractor, another 3 from another contractor, and they would look at the houses and they would decide which one they want, who contractor they would want to build that home for them. And they would already know the cost, right? Because it's a pilot. They start the thing off in Dunfermline to get to know the cost of every house, the cost of labor, the cost of material, and everything like that. So then they can tell you, well, the house is $150,000 or the house is $200,000. So they can tell you that, all right? But this thing is happening in her constituency. She should be happy that the thing is happening there. First, starting off in your constituency, she should be in support of such a project or program, right? It's a project, such a project. But here it is. Instead of doing so, she's condemning and criticizing the thing and talking about it was something that was there before. But when you were in power, the NNP, why didn't you start it?
Mr. Speaker, you know they're very good at repackaging and renaming. CBI is now IMA. The bushing is now beautification. Bathroom and toilet is now wash. Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, but the CBI program was rebranded for a good reason. For a very good reason, right? I think it's the acronym migration. M is migration. A, I think, is agency, right? Immigration and no. Yeah. Anyways, let me get what the acronym stands for. All right, IME. IME. Right, let me just get what the acronym stands for. Investment Migration Agency. Good? Easy. So, Investment Migration Agency. So, it's no longer just a citizenship program where you just get a citizenship and you pay for it. But instead, it's more than that. You can invest and you can migrate. You can come here to live and stay. You can be a citizen by investing. So they just remodel it so that it can be more attractive and more, appealing to folks who are interested in such a program, which is a smart thing to do. All right? It's a smart thing to do. Come on. This thing is kind of common sense. Investment Migration Agency. Nothing is wrong with that. There are many, different countries with CBI programs, and they are moving into the direction of turning it or rebranding it into investment migration agencies or agency. So they are rebranding it similarly. It's just sad that this woman, this political idiot, in my view, just can't see the bigger picture. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with having a debushing program and having a beautification program? Because the debushing program is still there. That hasn't gone or changed. And the beautification program came about around independence time, where they were seeking to beautify around the country and so on. Nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. And then she spoke about, so you have the another program she spoke about, WASH, right? The bathroom program, and it's now WASH. But here it is. when the NNP was in power, just close to the election of 2018, right? 2018 onward, they did some bathrooms, quick, for some of their supporters. The NNP administration, they built some bathrooms, quick, for some of their supporters, but without a toilet bowl, excuse me, without a sink, without tiling, without painting, without fixtures, without lighting. The NDC came into power and they started the WASH program, where they completed the process, building a complete modern bathroom and toilet facility for people, don't matter what political party you support. A modern bathroom and toilet facility. The private sector joined in, citizens volunteered, some were paid, they pay them a portion and they volunteer a portion. So it's a good initiative, a very good initiative. But what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Look at the amount of families who got a proper modern bathroom and toilet facility. The NNP left 8,715 people using pit latrines, pit toilets. That's the NNP's legacy. So the NDC came into power and eradicating that, removing these people from that situation and giving them a decent standard of living, providing them with a modern bathroom and toilet facility. What is wrong with that? You were there, the NNP was in power. You claiming that Housing Authority was about to build 16 houses in the same area. But why didn't they build it? Why didn't the NNP build it? The NNP administration didn't do it. Right? You're claiming that the WASH program, well, there's a bathroom and toilet program on the NNP, and then NDC turned it into the WASH program. But my question is, why did you left 8,715 people, right, using pit latrines? I think I have that here somewhere. I mean, it's sad because I have it somewhere about the place. Anyways, somewhere around here I have that thing. Right, somewhere around here I have that same recording with the Honorable Andy Williams speaking about it, highlighting the amount of people. I'm not able to rest my hands on it at this point, but speaking about the amount of people that the NNP left after they lost the election, still using pit latrines, pit toilets. And I'm saying this thing is kind of clear. If you saying to me that you were in power for 23 years and a half and you had a bathroom and toilet program, why so many people still using pit latrines when the NDC came into power? Look at the amount of people who still using pit latrines and the NDC trying to help these people, but you're vexed that the program is called WASH.
This reckless approach raises serious concerns. How much of our taxpayers' money are spent on rebranding existing programs? We have to ask ourselves that, Mr. Speaker. But we must remind them that they promised 500 Grenadian-style houses per year under such a project. However, today...
And folks, that's a lie. That's a lie. You see, these people, they tell lies and they believe the lies. They believe the lies. The name of the project is Project 500. The NDC administration intends to build 500 houses, not in a year. In fact, for this woman to claim that the NDC administration or the NDC promised to build 500 houses in a year. It's a blatant lie. Do you believe that it's possible to build 500 houses in a year in Grenada? Do you actually believe that? And I'm talking about Grenadian style houses, not wooden houses they're constructing, concrete, prefab, that kind of thing, using metal and other things like that. So, these people, they speak and they believe that people are stupid. So she's out there in the parliament trying to give the impression that the NDC administration said so or the NDC said so. I'm asking, just common sense. Do you believe that the NNP or the NDC could build 500 Grenadian style homes in a year? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just sad. Sad, sad, sad. But she says it anyways, with the belief that people are going to fall for it.
And Dunfermline is my backyard.
And Dunfermline is your backyard, That's part of your constituency. Instead of you being happy, proud of the fact that they have started the project in Dunfermline, in your area, you out here acting like a political lunatic. It's really, really, I don't know.
So, Mr. Speaker, I have video evidence on my phone if I need to.
Video evidence of what? That they're constructing 17 houses in Dunfermline. That was announced. That they will be doing 17 houses, right, as a showcase. So people who are interested in those homes can visit Dunfermline, identify the homes that they want, that they like. They would know the cost, and then it will be constructed for them. And they have identified a number of sites where they will be constructing those houses. This thing is open to the public. This is nothing new. It was announced that they had a launch. The Housing Authority had a launch, an official launch for Project 500. And this was explained thoroughly.
Committed to the House. But I would say the Minister for Finance stated that only 17 houses they were able to start. Only 17.
Yeah, well, 17 is what they announced they would start off with. So, I mean, look, folks, remember, in Grenada, we have always had a housing issue, shortage of houses, low income, reasonable houses, all right, in terms of cost. If you have to really build a house going through the bank and so on, you would have to work for your entire life. And your children may still have to come and help you to pay for it, because it's $400 and $500 and something $1,000. So this government is attacking the housing crisis or situation by building these houses, right? So government, statutory body, housing authority is undertaking this project to build those houses, and then you would get the cost. But they're trying to build it at a reasonable cost. But that's a good thing. What's wrong with that? That's a good thing. Man, it's amazing. And look, this woman didn't even stop there. She spoke about the school feeding program. And I want to propose and ask the government to change the way they're going about giving this $10,000 to parliamentarians. They have to change this thing.
Is to supply meals to students daily, and as a result, students are left without meals, the meals they were promised. Instead of benefiting from the so-called free meal program, parents are now forced to spend even more money to send their children to school with lunch. These are the facts, Mr. Speaker.
Lord, boy, this woman sounds like a political lunatic. So parents sending their children to school with lunch is not their responsibility. It's not the parents' responsibility to send their children to school with lunch. Okay, the government decided to start the free hot meal program, providing a hot meal for every child, because it should not be a reason for any child to stay at home because they don't have the $1 or the $3 for a meal. All right? So the NDC decided to start the free hot meal program. In the primary schools, the parent or parents, they had to find $1 every day for that child. That's $5 a week. And in the secondary school, they had to find $3 every day for that child. The government said, well, look, we're going to ease up that burden from you. The program will never be perfect. Tell me one program, previous administration, no, that's perfect. It would never be perfect, because remember, the schools are using the supplies, and there will be shortages from time to time for certain things. But you telling me that the same Kate Lewis that's opening her mouth can't take $3,000 or $4,000 out of the $10,000 that her constituency is receiving as constituency allowance and give to a school or two in our constituency to help them, instead of condemning, instead of criticizing this whole thing? 13,000 students are benefiting from the free hot meal program. 13,000. You telling me that this Kate Lewis, this political lunatic, in my belief, can't mobilize farmers in her area or people in her area with citrus? Because you know, when citrus in season or fruits in season, they may sell some, but there will be excess. You telling me she can't come up with an initiative to mobilize in her constituency, at least the people with fruits and so on, to give the excess to the schools so that they can make juice? You're telling me she cannot mobilize and organize with farmers who may have extra vegetables, extra provision, and so on, after they sell or they do what they normally do, to give to the school, to help the school feeding program? Come on. So this barbarian, in my belief, this rara, this political lunatic, in my belief, is there in the parliament talking all kind of rubbish. It would have been better for this woman to go in the parliament and say, I recognize the limitations. I know the challenges that the free hot meal program face from time to time. And I have taken the initiative to identify all the farmers in my constituency and all the people with citrus and, fruits and vegetables and so on in my constituency. Provision, banana, blogo, plantain, fig, or banana, as we say, fig, right? Yam, dashing, potatoes, and so on. I've taken the liberty to identify all these people in my constituency. I've engaged them and say to them, when you have excess, give me. I will come and I would pick it up and I would drop it in the schools. Right? In my constituency, I have 4 or 5 or 6 schools. I would drop it off from time to time. Right? Excuse. That would have been a way better approach. Or maybe she can say, well, I get $10,000 as constituency allowance, I can utilize 3,000 or 4,000 out of that to help the schools who have shortages from time to time. Or she could say, well, I have reached out to my friends and colleagues in Grenada or in the diaspora to send rice, because they use a lot of rice in these schools, to send flour, because they use a lot of flour in these schools, to send butter, right? They use a lot of that. Oil, they use a lot of that. Sugar, and so on. 5 barrels, 10 barrels. Because there are people who are willing to help if you reach out. But she will not take that kind of initiative. But she will go in a parliament and talk about the problem, right? We know that the program is not perfect, but at least the program is feeding 13,000 people every day. Come on. But I want to suggest that we petition our beloved political leader and prime minister to say to him that this particular move, giving every MP $10,000 constituency allowance, is a bad move, because those on the opposition side, they're not utilizing it the way it's supposed to be utilized to help the people within their constituency, in my belief. And there needs to be some assessment every 3 months or every 6 months on this whole thing. Now we hear that all MPs, meaning all constituency offices, will receive a vehicle. Taxpayers' money again. You see, sometimes we try to be fair, sometimes we try to be nice, but it can come back to haunt us. These two things I have a problem with. This $10,000 that they are receiving, some of these opposition MPs as constituency allowance, they're not utilizing it properly, in my belief. And you see, sometimes you don't give your enemy too much. You don't, because they're your political enemies. We have to find some way to reach out to our leader, our beloved political leader and prime minister, to say to him, that's a bad move. These two moves, the $10,000 for all the MPs, it's a bad move. This giving a vehicle to every constituency office, that's a bad move. That should be only given to MPs on the government side. Only MPs on the government side. And then this $5,000 for all MPs across the board, that's a bad move too. That's 3 bad moves. This $5,000 more on their salary. You should only give those on the government side that. You can't be giving these, because you see, you make them become louder. Look at this woman. Boisterous, noisy. She acts like a political lunatic, talking all kind of nonsense. And I'm saying, we have to rethink all of this. Yes, you want to be nice, you want to be fair, you want to be equitable, but that's not the way to go with these people, because they're ungrateful. The NNP MPs are ungrateful. They're no good. If they were in power, they would not do that. When they were in power, they never did that. Why, when the NNP was in power, they never saw it fit to give every constituency $10,000 as constituency allowance? Why, when the NNP was in power, they never saw it fit to increase the salaries of MPs and senators in Grenada? The $5,000 for those MPs, right? And I think for those senators, what, $3,000 or something like that? They never saw it fit. Why? And now they intend to give them some vehicle in every constituency. You see, you cannot be fair with these people. You cannot be equitable with these people. It's just simple. Because this is a competition. This is warfare politically. And that is why these people are emboldened. Because, they could work as teachers, they could work as consultant and still collect that money every month. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. Who's this person under this live? Right? Stop. Right. So I'm going to block you. Right? That person, you're blocking you. Good? Nice. I block you from YouTube and I just block you from everywhere. Right? Good. Just simple. When I speak on this program, you listen and you learn. Block list too. Right, good. So I block that person. Easy. We're not attacking anyone. What we are simply saying is that these three things, you have these people who believe that they can go to the parliament and talk this rubbish, attack everything. Because why? They're getting $5,000 at the end of the month. $5,000 from taxpayers. The NNP supporters are ungrateful, and also the MPs on the NNP side, they're ungrateful. They have no thanks, no appreciation. So they get $10,000 as constituency allowance. What you doing with it? What you doing with that $10,000? You're complaining about the school feeding program. Why not take portions of that? Huh? Why not do that? Take portions of it. Right? And folks, if you come on that live and you want to talk rubbish on it, I don't care who you are. I just block you off. I just block you. I don't care who you are. When I speak on this program, I speak with full authority on this program. I don't care who you are. Whether you're PLM, NDC, PLM, or GLP, NNP, just block you off. When I speak here, you have your opinion, share your opinion. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying that these people, they're emboldened because they're getting this vehicle. Very soon, they could jump in and ride. They get in the $5,000 every month. They could go all about and shop online on Shein, and they could live the life and still work elsewhere. You hear me? It's amazing. But then when you look at what they're doing in the constituency, they're not doing anything in the constituency with it. Nothing significant. You're hearing about a program, a project, nothing whatsoever. It's sickening. It is sickening. But anyways, folks, it is important that we expose these things. Because look at this woman. Look at this woman in the parliament. Like a political idiot. You have a school feeding program. It's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect. Nothing is perfect. Not even you. You're not perfect. But I'm saying, why not come up with an initiative? Come up with an initiative. Mobilize the farmers in your area. Mobilize the farmers in your area. They have excess. They would have excess from time to time. Right? Who's this person calling me? Hello? Yeah. How can I be of assistance?
Around she constituency have this full of bush, you want to clean it, garbage, and she blast him out. So,
all right. All right. Thanks. Right. So the caller is talking about the wrong office. I don't know where our office is located, and if you pull up a bush all around, I don't know. But thank you very much. But I'm saying we got to be real. You coming and criticizing the school feeding program. You have schools in your constituency. All right? You from time to time would say, well, you get this information from this school, that school, and they need this and it. Mobilize and organize. Mobilize and organize the farmers, the fishers, organize the people in your area. That is what the people want. The Grenadian people want to see you take initiative to help people and better the lives of people. Yes, you're quick to condemn and criticize, but come on. Why are you not taking initiative? Take some initiative in your constituency. Start something now. Mobilize people in the farmers. I know there are farmers and there are people who are not official farmers in terms of their farmer ID and so on, but they have citrus, they have banana, they have all kind of thing plant in the backyard or on the land. And if you properly organize the thing in your constituency, you can get excess. Sometimes a person would cut, for example, they cut a bunch of it, all right, with 16 hands. They can't use all that. Some they might share with their neighbors or friends. So again, they just leave it there, like ripe or spoil. But if you mobilize them, when they cut that, it's kind of common sense. They're going to take 3 hands or 4, and they're going to give you the rest for the school. And the school may need it on that day. Maybe they're making soup. Maybe they're cooking saltfish and provision. You understand? I know when you have orange, grapefruit, lemon, limes, swivel orange or gospo or whatever. You have the sweet one and you have the gospo itself, the sour one. When that in season, it's in season. Plenty, plenty, plenty. You lap and cut. It's falling down on the ground. But if you, as an MP, organize the people in the constituency, you can pick it up. You can pick it even before it falls and bring it to the schools. Bring it to the schools, the same schools that you're complaining about, and let them use it, let them utilize it. You may not get it from the farmers every time, because remember, the government is providing stuff for the schools. But from time to time, you're going to get low. You're going to run out sometimes. Why not take an initiative? Come up with something now. Come up with some kind of initiative. And then you have the 10,000 constituency allowance that you're collecting. Why not utilize some of that to help some of the schools? But you want to go in the parliament and bump your damn gum, bump your watch. Anyways, I'm saying at the end of it all, there's a need for a thorough investigation to commence with this $10,000 constituency allowance. Either they review it every 3 months, they got to review this thing and see where they're spending this thing and whether they're spending it, because they could be stockpiling it for when election time comes around or for a certain time. They could be doing that. I'm not saying that they're doing it, but it could be possible. Because you complain about the school feeding program and they're not having this basically. Well, give them, supply them with something now. You have fishers in your area. Sometimes when you have jacks, when you have fish, certain fish, everywhere you turn is fish. But if you have a good relationship with the fishers, you can get them when they have a lot to donate it to the schools. Donate it to some of the schools. They could put it on the fridge. They could clean it and put it on the fridge. They could slice it up nice and put it on the fridge. And maybe you can take the initiative to get a fridge or 2 for some of the schools so they can store stuff, pulp it, juice it. But you're going to go in the parliament and talk about these things. I mean, it's just sad. And there are people who are accepting this nonsense, because you're in opposition, you're opposing everything. Take the initiative. Take the initiative. So I am saying these 3 things. We need to ask our beloved political leader and the cabinet to review these 3 things. 1, this $10,000 constituency allowance given to these opposition MPs. All the government MPs could get, because we've seen what they're doing with it. We've seen that they're utilizing it in their constituency. But when it comes to the opposition, we've not seen them doing anything, only criticizing, condemning, and nothing they're doing. What they're doing with it? We can't see anything. What they're doing? I would love to know. Tell me what you're doing with the money now. Account to the taxpayers, guys. Taxpayers' money. It's not your money. Taxpayers' money. What you doing with the money? I would love to know. We would love to know. So they have to look into this thing and cut it from these people. And then you have the $5,000. They should not have given these people any $5,000 more. Leave them so. When the NNP was in power, They never even thought about increasing. And mind you, they're criticizing that money. Even if they got it, they received it because they want to attack the government. They want to condemn it and criticize it and accusing the government of all kind of stuff. Sometimes you gotta, this is political warfare. Can't be too nice with these people because the NNPs are an ungrateful bunch of people. They're ungrateful. They have no thanks. You give them everything, they still would bad talk you and still criticize and condemn you. They're ungrateful. And then we hear about this vehicle for every constituency office and so on. So all of them would be getting to all the opposition MPs, they would be getting a vehicle too. Something has to happen drastic to make these people account for the resources given to them to help their constituency, even if they're in opposition. You're in opposition, but you still have to account. We need to know. We need to know. Because something as basic as a school feeding program, man, something as basic as that, you'll go in this program is feeding 13,000 students every day. 13,000. So if there is shortage of X, Y, and Z, you have to go and bump your gum. Take the damn initiative and mobilize the farmers, mobilize the fishers, mobilize the people in your constituency who could assist from time to time. Huh? What's that? Watch. These things just make me get vexed. And anybody, somebody come on the live, don't attack the Prime Minister, don't attack. Who attacking Prime Minister? Huh? This title, our beloved Prime Minister, came from me. Kem Jones, I would put that out there. The most honorable Deacon Mitchell, that came from me. The most honorable, that came from right here. Who love and appreciate the Prime Minister more than me? Stop all your damn stupidness. I would defend the Prime Minister every day, anytime. And MPs on the government side any day, every time. Once you come on that live, I'm in charge of the boss here of this program. I just block you off. I don't care who the hell you are. I don't care who you are. When you're in the classroom, you listen to the teacher. When you go home, go and complain to your mother and your father. You hear me? I am saying this particular move, this 10,000 constituency allowance for those opposition MPs, we need to look into this. We need to look into this thing. Right? We need to look into it. It's just, it's just because we're not seeing what those opposition MPs are doing with the money. I think there's a need to call on them to explain what they're doing with it. Because something like you have 4 schools or 5 schools in your area, they shot some rice or some butter or some flour. You can take some of that money and get it in some supermarket in your constituency, huh? And drop it for them. Or you're going to go into parliament and run your labas, huh? What's wrong with you? Anyways, folks, have a wonderful day. Take good care. I'll be back with you tonight in the hub, starting from 8 in the PM.